Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel in the first place. Today we have an Akaashi X listener. This is Palm Lines in Paradise by Egg Toasties on AO3. The link will be in the description. Go give them likes, kudos, and all of those things. One last thing, this will have she, her pronouns just because I find it kind of difficult to change them at the moment, and let's go ahead and get into it. Akaashi struggles to turn the page of his book with one hand. His right arm is draped over her shoulder, tracing patterns on the bare skin as she watches TV. Tugging on his hand to pull his arm across her chest, then burrowing herself into him, he melts. She pulls his free hand up to her mouth, kisses his open palm, and he thanks every one of his past lives for bringing him to her, because he swears he's entered nirvana since the day they confessed their love for each other. He must have been a saint, for reasons to be able to experience her daily acts of divinity in the form of sweet touches. He puts his book down to wrap his arms around her, squeezing her so tight she exhales a sharp breath, which turns to a contented hum as he peppers kisses across her temple. Akaashi unwraps his arms to squeeze her shoulders before gently raking his nails down her arms, delighting in the hairs that rise in response, and holds her hands in his. With her full gaze on him, he suddenly feels shy and closes his eyes to kiss her knuckles. He opens his eyes when she pulls her hand from him, only to intertwine their hands together and squeeze. Taking one of his large hands in hers, she presses her thumbs into the fleshy part of his palm and massages, nodding at the way his shoulders droop in relaxation. She flips his hand, palm up, and paints a finger across the worn lines. "I can read palms, you know," she nearly whispers. Akaashi quirks his lip. "Can you now?" She looks intently at his palm, thumb stroking his hand until she points her index finger at the long line curving away from his thumb. "This," she says, tracing the crease with a nail, "tells me you will be successful in life." Choosing the line next to it, she brings his hand closer to her face and furrows her brows. "You may find yourselves at a crossroads in terms of your career." "I see," he responds, more so enjoying the feel of her fingertips, feather light, making tingles run down his neck to the base of his spine. Pointing to short lines at the side of his palms, she explains, "These mean you'll have 2 to 3 kids. Then, following the expanse of another long line, and this one," she pauses, "means you'll turn into a frog." He laughs as she nods solemnly. "That would be unfortunate. But don't worry," she says cheerily, pulling his hand close to her once again. "Your palm also tells me that if you give me enough kisses, you can circumvent this great tragedy." He pulls her into him, her back against his chest, and breathes in the smell of her perfume. Sounds like extortion. He huffs against her neck. Wiggling in his grasp to face him, she pouts. "I would do no such thing." He rolls his eyes playfully and plants kisses on soft cheeks, tickling the peach fuzz as he delicately traces the tip of his nose across the expanse of skin. "Would you still love me if I were a frog?" he asks between kisses. She hums in thought. "It'd be tough, I think." Affronted, he scoffs in disbelief, pulling away from her. "Like, would I have to buy you a fancy terrarium or something? Or do frogs live in tanks?" she wonders out loud. "You wouldn't keep me in bed?" "Kashi, I'd crush you." Conceding, he pouts a little, and she laughs at his disgruntled sigh. "I didn't know your love for me ran so deep that you'd keep me around even if I turned into an amphibian," she jokes, placing her chin on his shoulder. He sniffs. "Well, of course." "Is the romance story you're editing at work that good?" she teases. "Is that why you're feeling extra sappy?" Her eyes feign innocence, but twinkle with mirth as he tries to deliver an expressionless stare, but fails when he feels the edges of his lip curl. Akaashi motions for her hand and smooths it over his open palm. He traces the creases and taps at a random one. This one tells me you're a heartless monster who deny her frog boyfriend a warm bed. He deadpans at her laughter, but feels warmth bloom in his chest. Pointing to another line, he says, and this one tells me you have no respect for the epic mermaid romance story I'm editing. She gasps dramatically and brings her free hand to her chest. Wouldn't dream of it. He looks down at her open palm, but fails to come up with another quip. She states that the fates would never give her so many bad omens and demands a refund. This is the worst fortune I've ever been given, she complains. Don't blame me. The ghost told me what to say. The huh? She furrows her brows. You were reading my palm via ghost? She asks disbelievingly. Didn't know you were a medium now, she huffs. Narrowing her eyes, she pouts. Sounds like you were just making stuff up to me. Oh? Akaashi quirks a brow. And you weren't? She grasps at his hands and pulls them to her chest. Looking up at him earnestly, she vigorously shakes her head. I swear it. Snorting at her theatrics, she breaks out in giggles, then into a full laugh, throwing her head back, tears collecting at the side of her eyes. Akaashi can't help but join her, bowing his head and laughing into their clasped hands. His shoulders shake and he loses his breath at the ridiculousness of everything, but can't help to wonder again what he could possibly have done to deserve this form of bliss. When they stop laughing, their gazes meet. Cheeks flushed with happiness, eyes dewy with tears. He smiles at her, for all the emotions he feels for her. For all the words in his expansive vocabulary he could string together to convey how much he adores her, he settles for squeezing her hands and utters a quiet I love you. Alright, so that's the end of this one. I hope you enjoyed. It was really cute. Sorry if it's a bit of a different story type thing than normal. Anyways, music link, fanfic link, Discord link, and thumbnail art link will all be in the description. Go check those out. I hope you have a great rest of your day, night, whatever, and I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye!